What is going on? What is going on? It is Big Game James. I'm in the house. You know how I do. I did an earlier show today. We was kicking it. We was in there crew thick, deep. But guess what? I said, you know what? I like having the ladies on. You know what I'm saying? The ladies know football too. So I said, you know what? I already messed with your boy BJ. Me and him already did a lot of couple crunk shows, and we had got into it. I did a couple shows with Spoonie, but I said, nah, I need Mary Ella in here, and I need her to finish the trifecta. So she said yes. We're about to get it in. So how you doing, Miss Mary Ella?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk some Cowboys football, and I'm excited to be on your show. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. And just give a quick thing about the Star Gang and how it kind of started, and then I'm gonna ask you a few questions about yourself before we talk about this football.
Star Gang is myself, Spoonie, and BJ, like you already mentioned. Started out as a Facebook page that BJ created. We just recently started doing this podcast last year, so we're finally gaining some steam, getting into it a little bit more. This is our second year going. So we're on Facebook and Twitter, Star Gang Podcast. My Twitter is at Star Gang Beauty. And BJ and Spoonie are also on Twitter.
Nice. And I like how you guys got that going on. But one more thing, before we jump into this, I want to know your background. Like a lot of times when I bring guests on here, I'm just always like, tell them where they can find you and this and that. But I don't want to do that today. You know what I'm saying? I want to kind of break the mold of that. I want to know, what made you a Dallas Cowboy fan? What made you really want to get into, doing the podcast thing and, kind of, the background with the Cowboys, how you really got with the Cowboys and the love for them, and then kind of how I expanded from there.
I'm a born and raised Texas girl, North Texas. My whole family is Cowboys fans. Really, I got into football on my own because most of my brothers, they were way older than me. They were out the house. My dad, he was always working, so he never really watched the games that much. And I just, in high school, I was an athletic trainer for the varsity football team. And that just made my love for football in general just grow that much more. I learned a lot just doing that. And it's been nonstop. Like I said, born and raised in Texas, and learned a little bit here and there as I went, kind of just taught myself. And it's always been Cowboys, nobody else.
Yeah, I made a post, I think you liked it, where I said, if you got two teams, you're a cheater. You know what I'm saying? You a straight cheater. I got one of my homeboys. He liked the Bengals and the Eagles. You're a cheater.
No.
You're one of the teams that are in my division. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm living in Ohio right now, and you like the Bengals, bro. Like, you're a cheater. I just can't respect you because you can jump back and forth. You can say, my Philadelphia Eagles suck, but my Bengals is banging, man. I can't give you that. I'm sorry. If you listen, Stacey, I ain't hating, but no. You can't have two NFL
teams. You got to stick with your team, man, even when it gets hard.
Yeah, because
how it is.
You feel me? It's an easy out for you to be like, well, Philly ain't doing good. I'm gonna jump to my Bengals. Nah, you a cheater, dog, and we ain't letting you get away with that. Feel me? So let's jump on to these Cowboys, man. This stuff been crazy. Nah, I ain't even want to talk about these Cowboys because I feel like you said something as well. Let's talk about. I had a show earlier and I talked about the NFC East as a whole. One particular team is the Giants that everybody been clapping about since yesterday, since they won 4 in a row. I seen Twitter. They think Garrett. Then you miss Garrett now. Then you miss. No, I don't miss no damn Jason Garrett. Never will. I will never, ever. Remember that song by Lil Scrappy? We will never, ever. You feel me? I ain't gonna never, ever miss no Jason Garrett. You know what I mean? And now they over here pumping him up, and that just really frustrates me because guess what? He was a okay coach. Like, he's an average coach to me. He's an 8-8 guy. We saw in his 10 years that was mostly the record. If you had a perfect way where nobody was getting injured, I could definitely see him. We saw him get to 12 wins, 13 wins, but things had to be perfect. But more than not, Jason Garrett was a coordinator, and I thought he was a good coordinator. Never thought he was a great head coach. I thought he's a good coordinator. But when these people jumping up and down doing backflips like, you miss Jason Garrett now? No, the offense is trash. They're not doing anything good. They didn't do anything good yesterday. That defense is unsung. They don't got no heroes over there, but they are balling. limiting
Yes.
their opponents the last 4 games to 16 points a game. If you limit your opponents to 16 points a game, you have a very good chance of winning. Kind of what's your thoughts on the NFC East, in particular with these Giants and how everybody's talking about JG?
Oh yeah, I hate the all the praise that he's all of a sudden getting now that he's gone. Like you said, he's the offensive coordinator. The reason why they're successful has nothing to do with what he's doing as offensive coordinator. They're basically speaking as if he's the head coach, which he's not. They're, acting like, because they've won these last 4 games that it's largely because of him. The defense, like you said, there's no huge big name guys there. But it's a young group and they're feisty and they play well together. And they know how to make big plays when it matters the most. And that's what's been getting them their wins. And I mean, that's what happened yesterday. You saw Russell Wilson struggle all day long to even
Mm-hmm.
get the ball off.
Mm-hmm.
And it really had nothing to do. If the defense wasn't on, there's no way they win that game with just 20 points because
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson can score at will. You got weapons like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Chris Carson. So, yeah, it has nothing to do with Jason Garrett's offense. And when he was here, we saw what he did. He had 10 years to prove to us that he could be something more, and he never did. And, frankly, with the position that the Cowboys are in, as far as all these injuries every week,
Mm-hmm.
just piling up more and more, I don't think any coach would be successful with the way we are right now.
Exactly. And let's keep it all the way real. If we fell man down in 2015 with Romo and Des Bryant, how the hell do we think Jason Garrett was going to, if he coached this year with all these injuries, how he was going to be coaching? Come on, man. Let's keep it all the way real. What probably fell flat on his face as well. And we would have been mad the same way. People forget we lost 9 and 8, 9 in a row when we were on that 4 and 12 team. We wasn't beating people. We was getting our butts kicked, and everybody was clapping on Garrett like, see, everything got to be perfect for him, because as soon as he gets a little bit of something goes wrong, our season is like basically over. So I just don't want to hear no more of that, JG. If you're saying all that, whatever, that's your preference, but he ain't no good guy to me. Might be a good person, he ain't no great coach to me.
Yeah, he's not a great coach, but yeah, like you said, he was a great person. He had his time. His time here is done, and his team's offense is averaging 20 or less points a game.
Right.
So,
and they're bottom of the barrel on damn near every stat. And I don't want to hear him. If you can't say Quan Barkley, no, I just don't believe that. I don't believe that because your quarterback is suspect. So just jump off that. But let me get your thoughts on the East. Washington's playing right now. I don't know the score. What's your kind of thoughts? We've been seeing Carson Wentz got benched yesterday. Jalen Hurts is playing now. The Washington football team, they're playing a little better, but they got a good defense. But what's your kind of just thoughts as the NFC as a host, because it's been putrid all season?
Oh yeah, I mean the Eagles are a huge dumpster fire, and I'm loving every second of it.
Love it. Oh, I love when they jump in. But y'all at the bottom. You're one game ahead of us.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
And you have your starting QB.
Right.
I mean, we
lost with Ben DiNucci.
Yeah. Like we've gone through 4 QBs. Literally, 4 different guys have played under center this season. So, we're one game behind the Eagles. When you have your starting QB, you have a better defense, and you're supposed to have the better coach. So, yeah, they're a dumpster fire. Carson, he's just not good. They want to make all these excuses for him, but at the end of the day, you're overthrowing, you're underthrowing, you're holding on to the ball too long. Your pocket presence is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Your mechanics are terrible. It's just, and I think he's lost all his confidence, especially after getting benched yesterday. So, I mean, I'm honestly, for the foreseeable future, say I'm wrong or not, but I don't see anything good happening for them in the near future.
I don't either.
Yeah. As far as the Redskins go, I mean, we're a Washington football team. They have a great front seven. It's, full of first round talent, and, they're scary up front when you don't have, a good old line or people to block. I mean, that D line is the main reason why they are winning. Now, Alex Smith, I mean, they're on their 3rd QB. Alex Smith, he can be serviceable, and, he rarely makes a lot of mistakes. But at the same time, he's not going to be that guy that's going to put them over the hump as far as offense goes. So unless they figure out their QB situation, it's just going to continue to to stay stagnant where they are, which is not being good.
Well,
So
dang. I hope they. We about to see because I think it's what they said. It's tied 17-17 with the Steelers. Because first of all, let's keep it real, Mariella. I haven't been impressed with Pittsburgh all year.
yeah.
This one of the ugliest 11-0 teams I've seen in a long time, and I don't think anybody would just be sitting there saying, "Ooh, they look good and sweet."
Yeah, no, when we played them, I figured that, we were gonna 100% get dragged, you
Hmm.
know. And they played very weak against us, almost lost. And they played pretty weak consistently. They struggled a little bit with the Ravens last week. And the Ravens didn't even have a QB, and they had so many guys that were coming up from the practice squad and guys on our IR. So yeah, the Steelers, 11-0. I would love to be in their position. I'd love to have that problem. People questioning, is your team really that good at
Right.
11-0? I'd love to have that problem.
True story.
but
True story. True story.
but ultimately they really haven't been as good as what their record says.
I mean, right now, and it's just showing right here. My guy T Smooth TV says Washington's up 20-17. Hey man, I've been saying this though, Mariella. Defense wins championship. I'm a defensive guy. I've always played defense. I played offense when I was in school, whether basketball, football, anything. I love defense. I love shutting people down. And in my head, I'm kind of like, that's what we need to. I understand we have the offense. I get it, but as I've said before, defense carries you. Defense carries you in bad weather, good weather, muddy weather, snow, this and that. And you see right here, Pittsburgh Steelers 11-0, and who was banging with them? Washington. Why are they staying into this game? Defense. And you can have all the offense you want, but eventually that you're going to come across a team that's going to shut that down, and you're going to need to defend. You're not going to be able to score 40 points every single game. So kind of what's your thoughts? Let's just jump right into Dallas. We'll kind of maneuver into Baltimore. But we've seen how notoriously bad defense this is. It's 32nd ranked. It's still ranked dead last. Mike Nolan came in under Mike McCarthy. It hasn't been great, but it's gotten better the last 4 games. What's your impressions of Mike Nolan, and would you want to keep him beyond if the defense continue to get better this season?
Well, on the Star Gang podcast, we said before the season started, we 100% expected the defense to be bad, especially in the very beginning, because a new defensive coordinator, they didn't really have an off season. We had a few new pieces that we were hoping were going to get comfortable and play well and do some things for us. And so we expected the defense to start slow. We knew we had some injuries as well. And then, and we completely thought, our offense, as high powered as it is, it's going to have to carry the defense for, the first 3, 4, 5 weeks. But they were so bad that our offense couldn't carry them.
Exactly.
I'm glad we got rid of the dead weight, trading Griffin, getting rid of Poe, getting rid of Worley. And I do maybe, it seems like even that slight change helped. And, the guys are starting to get more comfortable in the system, getting LVE back, all of those different things. I think that really helped. And they seem to be playing better as a team. And that was my main thing is, I kind of realized our season was most likely going to be over, especially after Dak got injured. But I wanted to continue to see progress and improvement. I didn't want them to seem like they were giving up. I didn't want them to just, pack it in and look like they weren't trying. When Xavier Woods was in that interview saying, 70%, like I wanted to smack him upside the head. Like,
how you going to say that? First of all, how you going to say that and you're in a contract year? You're in a contract year and you're going to say that. Second of all, everybody don't already kind of mad at you right now. And you're going to come out and say that, dog.
Yeah,
maybe it might be true, but keep your mouth closed.
Exactly. Like, be smart enough, even if you're thinking in your head, be smart enough to not say it. Keep it to yourself. And as fans, this is when they were playing really bad. As fans, that's the last thing we want to hear is our safety, who we already had questions about, saying, 70%. Like, no, absolutely not. So it looks like they've been given 100% at least, even when we're losing. It looks like they're definitely trying. And I just want to continue to see that progress.
Yeah, I want to see that progress too. But do you want Mike Nolan back?
Ooh, I'm torn on that. I understand his
I'm not. I want
history.
him gone.
Yeah.
And it's not. Hey, Marielle, I ain't jumping on it because everybody else is. But you know why I want him gone? This is why I want him gone. It's not been impressive. Even if it's gotten better, it hasn't been impressive. And I don't even want to go in next year because I don't feel good about him. I don't feel like this. I just don't feel he's not the guy. Let me just say it. You're just not the guy, Mike Nolan. I'm sorry. We need somebody else. He's been in the league 22 years. Number one, Mary, I'm tired of us or the NFL or wherever just regurgitating coaches. Greg Williams gets fired. Oh, what do you think about Greg Williams? No. Oh, man, Patricia just got fired from Detroit. What do you think about? No. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to go after every player that gets cut. We don't have to go after every coach that gets fired. Like, no, I'm tired of recycled coaches. Let's get some new blood. And I don't know if I brought this to BJ, but what do you think about Sean Lee being the eventual defensive coordinator?
Oh, no. I love Sean Lee. And he's so ridiculously smart. His football IQ is off the charts. And I don't know if you saw the interview with LVE most recently where he's saying, they're in the film room and he's saying stuff that is like completely going over LVE's head. And he's like,
slow down, dog. Like, hold up. You slow down. You get what I'm saying? Now, let me ask you this. Would you want to, if let's say you like that pick, but would you want Sean Lee to start as like, just an assistant on the team, maybe assistant linebackers coach, something like that? Or would it be too much for you to see him jump right in and be a defensive coordinator? You think it'd be too much? Because in my opinion, I don't think it would be because he's always been a coach on the field. He's been coaching since he was with Penn State. I just don't feel that he is going to be like, oh, well, damn, I need 2 more years of – for what? You're already coaching the damn team.
You already know.
Now.
I agree. I think not every player would be capable of jumping right into – a role like that, but if anybody can, I think Sean Lee can definitely.
Yeah, and I think they need to heavily look at it. Let me give a shout out to some of the members in here, Marielle, right quick. We got a lot of people talking right now, jumping in. J Tuck just jumped in. How you doing, big dog? The Lunatic, appreciate the $2 holla. Thank you. Texas Bread 83, my dog Charlie Bridges. You know how we do. Jamal Sims, you know how we do. Uncle Charles. What's up, man? Eastside Herald. I ain't no love for them daggone whack Texans. Y'all choked. Ain't no love for y'all. And Pittsburgh just lost to Washington.
Woo.
Wow. See? There it is. Defense wins games. Yep. That just proves it again. And the reason why we are not winning games, it ain't just because we got Andy Dalton back there. It ain't just because the makeshift offensive line. It's because our defense sucks. And it's not because we don't have players. It's just, I don't know. We have good players, but we don't have dogs, in my opinion, Mariella. I'm not hating on DeMarcus Lawrence, but he's really good, but he's not great to me. He's not great to me. What defensive player do we have on our team right now do you say is great?
I think Alden and Randy Gregory, after coming back or missing so much time, they look amazing for how much time they've missed from football. But yeah, I agree. Everybody's had those moments where they just disappear sometimes, and you're like, "What's going on?" So, yeah, I would like to see some barking, some woof woof.
I don't want to see the barking. I want to see bite because we damn sure be barking.
That's true.
You feel me? We bark like a mother sucker. We be barking in there, but I don't be seeing it. Like D-Law when he said, and understand what I'm saying, people out here. I just ain't listening to it no more. It ain't got the umph no more. See, I ain't gonna lie, Mariella. I fell for the umph in 2018 when D-Law was on that sideline barking. I was like, yeah, let's go, because I ain't saying he was, but he was that when he was getting them sacks and stuff, it got the team on that different level when people was following it. But now. When he said we're going against Dez, I love him. It's going to be fun. But guess what? Ain't no mercy on this field. Ain't nobody listening to that shit no more, D-Law, when you say no mercy on this field. You know what, man? Ain't nobody listening to that shit. Ain't nobody. I used to get hyped, but now I'm like, man, shut up. Just playing.
Yeah, now I'm just like, most of the time, they post something on Twitter and it makes me want to block them. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Exactly. Just shut up, because y'all not doing it. Don't nobody. Do we really think offensive teams come in there and say, "Damn, D-Law and them, we scared"?
No, they do not.
They're saying we got the favorable matchups. All we need is give us some time. We're gonna exploit it.
Yeah, if we want to run the ball, we can run the ball. If we want to throw the ball, we can throw the ball. We can just have our way with this defense.
And that's my problem with all of this. Now, what's your thoughts on Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore, kind of that kind of morph? Because people have been killing Kellen Moore this year. Oh, Kellen Moore this, Kellen Moore that. And then let's fire Mike McCarthy after 1 year and go get Lincoln Riley or Urban Meyer or somebody like that. Are you willing to feel like let's give McCarthy a little more time? And what do you think about Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator for the team?
As far as Kellen Moore goes, and I said this last year, I said it before the season started, I don't think he's a bad offensive coordinator. I think his biggest issues are like the situational play calling. It's like, why did you run this play at this time, at this point in the game? And that's something I don't feel like he's gotten dramatically better at so far. And that's something where if I want Mike to step in, if he hasn't already, and say, you know what, we need to switch some of this up, or, we need to think about certain situations and why we're calling things. As far as McCarthy goes, I think people are overdoing it on him. I think, with the kind of injuries we've faced this year, I mean, how many different combinations of linemen have we had? And it's just like every single week, a different player is injured and out for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. And then you lose your starting QB, who has never gotten injured, but finally it happens, and it happens at the beginning of the season. I mean, it's just like everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. Now, I do think, I like the being aggressive, because Jason, we never got that with him. But sometimes you're a little bit too aggressive. So I want some of that to change. But other than that, I think he does deserve it another year to see what happens with a healthy team when you actually get off-season practice and your quarterback back. So.
Yeah, and when I'm listening to the comments, a lot of people agree with me. I like Kellen Moore. My guy Steve Upton, he be clowning me because they're like, "Oh, here you go, BGJ, with that Steve Kellen Moore stuff." Because I'm the Kellen Moore guy. I'm sorry, I like Kellen Moore. Yeah. You came in your first year averaging damn near 30 points. You had a top offense. You had the #1 total offense all across the board last year. You still are a top offense, even with Dak gone. But, obviously those numbers were pumped up when he was there. But you still are scoring points when you had a little bit of time with the offensive line. Yes, he does some goofy stuff, and that pisses me off. He goofy with some stuff. But if you look at Kellen Moore, he look goofy. So you probably think and goofy. Kellen Moore look goofy as hell. When he look at me all like that. Yeah, he looked goofy, so I can assume you probably gonna do some goofy plays here and there. But I'm cool with Kellen Moore coming back, because I think that if you continue to get him some stuff around him, he's going to continue to be creative. Because I guarantee you, if you let him go and he goes somewhere else, he'll be really, really good. I really feel that.
Oh yeah, no, and I agree. And someone in the comments said he needs to find his groove with running plays. I completely agree with that. Some of his running plays, I think he just needs to get better on. But also our skill players, haven't helped him out much. I mean, Zeke all of a sudden developed this fumbling problem like every other game. And then our wide receivers are still dropping balls. We're like 29 or 30 passes dropped this year. So, last year we were one of the highest in the league in drops, if not the first. So, I mean, those are things that outside of his play calling, we got to execute better in those ways, not turning the ball over and not making stupid drops and the penalties.
Yeah, definitely. So, like I said, I'm cool with, it's just a weird season. I definitely don't want to blame COVID, because there's other teams that have rookie head coaches. As we can see, I gave the Browns props yesterday, and I hate saying that. And I don't even hate the Browns, but I got a friend of mine who's a Browns fan, and he won't never shut the hell up every single day. Browns ain't won nothing in 100 years, Mariella. So, he going nutty. He in my inbox all the damn time. We did a show together. This boy is gay. All these Browns fans are gay, but I can't hate on them. Y'all 9-3. You got a good offensive line. Bill Callahan's your offensive line coach. Yes. And here's the thing, the reason why I think the Cleveland Browns are winning to me, even with that new coach, they drafted well. But you know
Yes.
one thing they have done, what we don't do, they got some key free agents on that team that is making that team better. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
And you don't have to spend all your capital and cash on free agents. I don't think that's the way to go. But you can get one or two guys to blend with your rookies that are guys, that are the
Yes.
real deal. You're going to have to pay. And I want to ask your opinion on this. I think Stephen Jones has gotten gun shy. He need to grow some. No, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to keep it. I'm try to keep it PG, but he need to get some cojones down there, and you need to stop being scary because see, when he makes a good move, he be pumping his chest out. When it's a bad
Mm-hmm.
move, he quiet and don't want to do anything. Then he want to go back to these cheap 1 or 2 year deals and squeeze something out of people. When you got a dog out there that you can sign up, what's your kind of thoughts on the process of free agency? And does that frustrate you?
Oh yeah. I mean, Steven, plain and simple, he's cheap. He's just cheap, cheap, cheap. And fans used to hate. A lot of fans used to hate when Jerry was mostly doing the free agency stuff, and they'd be like, "Okay, he's overspending." So we were hoping that Steven would temper that a little bit, but we didn't want him to be this cheap.
Right.
So there needs to be somewhere where they meet in the middle, where it's like you're still going out there and you're getting quality football players, but you're not, in the bargain bin, at the bottom of the heap after every team has been really active in the beginning, and you just wait to the end and you get the leftovers.
Right, and that's what he does, and like it's almost comical how he does it. He's like, we ain't waiting until the first or second wave, we wait until the third wave. Who the hell's there in the third wave?
Exactly.
All,
Nobody's there in the
I
third
mean,
wave.
doesn't that tell you something right there? The top dogs go early; they don't go late. The top
Yeah.
dogs go early. So what you do is, oh, Gerald McCoy, and listen when I say this, here's why I was excited about Gerald McCoy, Poe, and those other guys because we never get those guys. So that's the only
Yeah.
reason why I was excited.
Yeah.
But nobody was jumping up and down like McCoy was that guy like he was when he was 25, 26.
Hmm.
I wasn't geeked on Poe. I was geeked that we got a big man in the middle. I wanted snacks
Yes.
because I wanted more nastiness in the middle. We saw what Poe was. Absolutely nothing. Now
Yeah.
we lose McCoy, which I did hurt because I think he still would have been a good 3 tech because he's a pass rushing defensive tackle. We don't have that when we lost Malik Collins. We kind of don't have that. Tristan Hill may could have been that guy, but he got hurt. Gallimore, I don't think is ready for that. So that was frustrating to me, but still, he won't spend the money. And as long as you keep doing that, I feel like we're still going to go in that circle. Like,
Yeah.
we'll be good, we'll win games, but we won't get over the hump.
Exactly. Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. We need guys that are gonna change the game for us. We need guys that are gonna help us make those big stops when we need them. And I've talked about this before, where there are teams with defenses that are maybe average, but what makes them better than the Cowboys, or basically anytime the Cowboys have had a defense, even average defense, what makes certain teams with better defenses is they get turnovers
Mm-hmm.
and they make the stops when it matters. We
Right.
can hardly ever get off the field on third down.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these defenses, they might be average, but the team is doing well because when they need to make a big play, they're able to make a big play. And not only can we not stop the run or the pass, but when we need to make a big play or when we need a turnover, 9 times out of 10, we can't get it. So that's why you get free agency, safety, defensive tackle, uh, you know,
2 players ain't gonna
BJ.
kill us.
Yeah, BJ pounded the table all off season for a linebacker because
Mm-hmm.
we knew like our linebacker depth could get thin, and it did
Mm-hmm.
immediately, pretty much. So, I mean, small things that's going to take you over the top. Like you said, we might do well, we might win some here and there, have a pretty good season, but we need guys that are going to put us over the top. And rookies or second year players, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be the ones that are going to put you over the top.
Exactly. Those are the guys you want to blend in with your established veterans. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You already got
Hmm.
established veterans with the Cowboys, but if you get a couple of those guys, I think BJ has been pounding the table and talking about Justin Simmons as well. I've been hearing a lot
Yes.
about him. My dog Skywalker Still's been talking about like they got me on that train with Justin Simmons, and that's just an example. That's a kid who's young. He's got like 4 interceptions, I believe, this year. He's been playing lights out pretty much his whole career. And Stephen Jones will look at him like, we ain't touching that. Let's go ahead and get Rashard Jones, who's 32 years old, and say, here, we got Rashard Jones from Miami. Ain't he good? Ain't he good? That's what Stephen Jones does, and that pisses me off because you're the director of player personnel. And when I thought I had confidence because I was getting frustrated with Jerry, but leave Jerry a spin. You was super cheap. You was the exact opposite of your daddy, and I think I'm more mad at you now than Jerry. I was hella mad at Jerry, but now the anger is turning towards you, Stephen, because I'm worried that when Jerry moves out and you're running it, oh my gosh, what's really going to happen?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm worried about. Definitely.
They need to make some changes with that because, like I said, Stephen Jones has got 3 titles, and I ain't never seen him earn any of them. I seen you grow into it with your daddy, and your daddy had a job, and he gave it to you. But I didn't see you put in the work to do all that, and I feel like that's why we stumble, Mariella. That's why we don't go places, because you got 2 businessmen that are running the organization, and they have 6 titles between 2 people, Mariella. That's not normal to me. 6 titles between 2 people, and they're all the major titles. So that says right there. And something else, Mariella, and I want to talk about this before we hit Baltimore. I think it's just the control freakness. When I was reading about Matt Eberflus, I really want him to be our defensive coordinator.
Yes, me too.
He left because he said he didn't want to step on Rod's toes. But when I researched it even further, he had an opportunity a few years ago when he was still on the staff when the San Francisco other teams started reaching out to him. Mainly the San Francisco 49ers were coming hard at him. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys blocked it. They said, you ain't talking to him. So when they came up with these contracts, the extensions, everybody extended, he said, you know what? No, I'm cool. I don't want to step on Rod's toes. And this is what I feel. If I'm a coach, I might like my organization I'm with, but if other people are feeling me, that doesn't mean I'm going to go coach for them. But yeah, it feels good when somebody's courting you. Let me just see what they're saying. Let me see what they're talking about. I have the opportunity. I can be a free agent soon. I want to see what other people talk about before, I can weigh all my options. But when you come out there and instantly blocking my opportunities, that's going to leave a sour taste in my mouth. That's going to tell me you a control freak. That's going to tell me, why would I coach this defense? Well, look how you're already controlling this right here. And Marinelli's still on the staff. Would he ever really been able to call his own defense? Because Marinelli's still right there on your damn neck, talking in your ear. That's why he said, I'm going to go over to Indianapolis. And guess what? I ain't heard him complaining. I see freedom. And where are these Colts right now?
Oh, yeah. Their defense is nice. It's pretty nice. And back to the money situation, like you said, a few of these guys would help. A safety. We had a chance to get Tyrann Mathieu. He wasn't even going to be that expensive. He didn't fit our scheme. How did he not fit our scheme? He didn't fit our scheme. And then I'm tired of Stephen. If I have to hear this one more time, we like our guys in-house. There's no way you're watching the same games we're watching and you say, I like the guys we have in-house. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Own up to the fact that you over believed in the team. You were being like a homer. And now that it's not living up to what you expected, just say, you know what, we messed up. And they had an opportunity to go make a move before the trade deadline. Didn't do it. So, they got to be willing to take those extra steps, spend that little bit of more money, because until they do, we're going to stay stagnant.
We're going to stay stagnant, and we're going to just be okay or good, but we won't be good enough. And like you said, stop telling us in the media. I think Cowboys fans would have a more sensitive heart to the Joneses if they would just come out and say, you know what, we dropped the ball, and don't come out 5 years later like you just did with TJ Watt. Oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we dropped the ball on that. After 3 years later, Rod. And then even then they passed the ball. Oh, Rod wanted them, though. You see, even just Rob wanted, we want to do this, but Rob wanted them. You see, it's nobody ever taking the heads on and say, you know what, we just kind of dropped the ball on this, but we're going to get better. We're going to improve this team. Fans, be patient with us. We're going to get this thing right, and we're going to do whatever we need to do at all costs. I think fans, when they would hear something like that, when they know that you're like, okay, we kind of missed it on this one, but we're going to come back harder. Fans will be more forgiving and like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm all the way. But when you keep coming out there doing this stuff, it makes fans mad, in my opinion, and it makes us turn and get leery of you, and it just doesn't make us feel good for the future. And that's just what I feel right now. Doesn't make me feel good with the future when you say these same goofy things and you know they ain't real.
I mean, it insults our intelligence. Like, do you think we're idiots? Do you don't think we can see what's going on?
Right? You
Like,
think we're
it's
stupid?
yeah, like just be honest. Just be honest. We'll respect you more. We're tired of the lies.
Tired of lies. But let's jump in this Baltimore game because that happens tomorrow after it seems like 100 years. I mean, they kept on pushing this game back so Lamar Jackson can play. Yeah, I said it. They wanted Lamar Jackson to play.
Yeah.
Beat the Cowboys. We don't want to. It's going to be on prime time. We want them viewerships up because COVID. We need Lamar Jackson to play. So let's keep pushing it back. Don't fool me,
Yeah.
NFL. But we're going against the Ravens. Kind of what do you think about that game? Do you care if we win? Or you just want to see, are we going to play hard? What's kind of your thoughts on this Baltimore game tomorrow as a whole?
I mean, I always want to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I
You're
hope
not
we lose. I want to tank. I'm not one of
okay.
those people.
Okay.
Am I expecting a win? No, I'm not going into the game with any kind of hope.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I do want to see some progress. You know, I want to see some of these guys that are getting a chance to play. I want to see, you know, if the coaching staff, you know, they've had a long time. So I want to see if there's any adjustments made for anything. And I want to see progress. I want to see us, you know, instead of giving up 300 yards, maybe we only give up 100, you know?
Right. Especially with that running game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, my main thing, what I want to see, Mariella, I want to see them take away what is big for Baltimore. That'll show me a little something. I ain't, you know damn well Baltimore's going to run that ball. And Lamar Jackson, man, get after him. You know what it is. Set that edge. Watch that. You already know he's going to do some read options. You know he's going to do those type of things. Shut him down and make him beat you throwing the ball. That's what I want to see from this defense. Just on the offense, I just want to see, you know, can we continue to, you know, move the ball? Kellen Moore, can you still call a creative game and you're not at home? You know what I'm saying? Show me, continue to show creativity when you're not at home, and you know you don't start going to shell. Like, you don't need to be conservative. We're 3-8. It don't matter. They don't need to be no damn conservative. And as I was bouncing off you, is like, I like how they've been, you know, going hard, and they're the different than Jason Garrett. But sometimes I feel like they're doing it too much because they're trying to prove they aren't Garrett.
Yeah,
you get what I'm
exactly.
saying? We got 25 fourth down attempts most in the league. I feel like that's trying to be like, we ain't Garrett. We go for it. But guess what? You're 48%, so maybe you shouldn't do it as much.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Dial it back a little bit, especially when the field position isn't going to work in your favor. I think that's really what killed us big time when we played on Thanksgiving, is they were doing some, you know, they were getting too fancy on fourth downs, and when it wasn't successful, it gave Washington really good field position.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you just can't do that. You can't do that. I also want to see how this O-line can protect Andy, because, you know, when Zach went down, I was like, that was my last lifeline. I was like,
you feel me? I was feeling good about life, and I'm like, good God, man, we've been begging for Terrence Steele to sit his ass down, and then when we finally do it, the football gods say, no, Zach Martin, you done for the year now. But what I will say from this point is, we got, even though we lost our line this year, Zach, Travis Frederick to retirement, Leo Collins, Tyron Smith, you damn near lost your whole line. But the one thing I will be happy about it, we saw Tyler Biadasz. That's our center of the future.
Yes.
We got to see Connor McGovern. I definitely think he's our left guard of our future. Connor Williams has played better. We saw Brandon Knight can be a swing tackle for us.
Yes.
Even as bad as Terrence Steele has been, I still think he's better than a Chaz Green, and he's still young.
God,
and you can coach him up. So you possibly have two potential swing tackles as backups for you. You got some good depth now because you got to actually see this line that you probably would have never saw those guys if all those other guys were healthy. We probably would have never seen any of these players. So at least you got to see and evaluate, and those guys aren't bad, but it makes it better better when you have those other guys coming back, and you know those guys can come in and play in a pinch, and they have the experience. So that's the only good thing I can see that came out of this, is that experience to the young guys as a whole. Now tomorrow, who do you want to see play tomorrow that you haven't really got to see play, especially, and I know you're probably going to say the name, that's why I threw it out there, especially when Donovan Wilson's going to be out tomorrow, and Anthony Pringle's Chip Brown.
Oh goodness, that Chip. Oh god.
Who the hell gets up? I don't care, Anthony Brown. You can see me in the club, and I don't know. I don't know. You see me in the club, but dog, you got a Pringle. That's still a Pringle is light. You can put it in your hand and you can crush it easy. Pringle's not a hard chip. You should at least been a Conn's potato chip. A wavy Conn's.
A kettle.
A kettle. You feel me? You should have been a kettle. Them jokers is crunching hard to break. Get some kettle. Get kettle or ruffle. Something. Not no damn Pringle.
Yeah. I still don't. I was so pissed about that. But
and you a grown man.
Yeah.
Pringle.
Yeah, I do. I want to see Reggie Robinson. Definitely. I mean, somebody on Twitter said, if maybe they don't want to put him out there because he's just going to get burned. I'm like, well, everybody else is
everybody's getting burned. You feel me? This ain't hurt nobody else. You need to evaluate this kid, because y'all was high on him. Y'all drafted him in the 4th round. Everybody was talking about what he could do and what he would bring to the table. Everybody was high on him. Then he doesn't even get to see no work. And here's my thing. They were not letting Donovan Wilson play, and I was screaming for him last year. So, we all been screaming for him, and he may not be ready. Well, guess what? As soon as he got in there, we showed that he's ready. You get what I'm saying? You had Joe Looney started at center. We showed Tyler Biadasz was ready. Connor McGovern wasn't smelling the field. He comes in, he's showing he was ready. Yeah. So, dog, get Bradley and Nye's ass out there. Get Reggie Robinson's butt out there. And get all the young people you can play, because now you need to see. You had Jason Garrett's player, Mike McCarthy. Now you got your players in 2020. You need to see who's going to be these guys for you in the future. So you sitting them down these next 5 games, what is that helping? Because you ain't going nowhere. Even if you go on a run and we go 8-8, ain't nobody winning in the playoffs, dog. Stop. Don't be delusional, Cowboys. Okay, exactly. Play these young players so we can see what you have for next year, and even evaluation with the draft. Because if you have a Reggie Robinson and he's balling out and he shows you something, now you feel like, well, maybe we don't have to draft a corner high now.
Yeah, that changes your draft plans. Yeah, I mean, when you have a lost year, basically, I know they claim they don't want to admit it and there's still a chance and all that stuff. But realistically speaking, like you said, it's over. This is where you trot everybody out there and, baptism by fire. Just throw them out there, see what they can do, because otherwise you don't know. And, I mean, Will McClay said it after the draft. He said this was his pet cat. And they loved his versatility at corner and safety. Let's see it. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, we need to see a lot, and that's the biggest thing for me. What happens if you actually play him and he really is old, and he ain't no little dude? He's 6'1", almost 6'2". He's got long arms. He's super aggressive. What happens if you let him play them 5 games and damn, we got a gym? Now you're like, we got Diggs. Now we got Robinson. Now we're feeling good. Like, now we don't have to feel like maybe we have to reach for a corner. Maybe we can go in here and do this, because guess what? And now let's say Bradley and Nye comes in there and does work. That's another defensive lineman, defensive end / you can maybe play him as some linebacker, a hybrid position. But now you're like, that's another player we don't have to maybe go and grab, because we have it right here, and he's a rookie or a second-year player, so he ain't costing us a lot of money, so he's still cheap. Cowboys, be smart. Play these guys so you can see where you don't have to overdraft, because you got guys right here. I don't understand that concept, in my opinion.
100%. I mean, and even with the old coaching staff, they would bury people in the depth chart, and we never got to see them. And it's like, there's no reason not to do that, especially in a year like this where we know we're not going anywhere. Exactly. Let these young guys play. if he gets burnt, we're used to seeing guys get burnt.
Right, we
So
saw Darren Worley getting cooked all year.
yeah,
We seen what's the damn safety Thompson? But man,
yeah,
good God, we seen him getting cooked burnt chicken. So we
yeah,
used to it. If Reggie Robinson getting beat on defense, we're gonna be like, oh man, no, we're gonna be like, well,
yeah, exactly. Like,
maybe he wasn't ready.
yeah,
That's what you might say. Maybe he wasn't ready. I don't know,
yeah.
but you know what I mean. So it's just kind of cool. It's funny. Will Glock says Cole Beasley. It's funny he mentions him because Cole Beasley was saying all this stuff. Cole Beasley was saying the management determines who gets the ball. Management says who gets the ball around here. And as soon as I go over Buffalo, it's a better run organization. It's better from top to bottom. The facilities is better. And I ain't going front. I was clowning Cole.
I was making fun of him.
I was
How
making
dare
fun of
you?
Cole.
Yeah.
I was miming him. I was tagging him. I was doing all kinds of stuff on Cole. Now I'm looking at Cole like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Exactly. We was flaming him up on Stargate. He was like, "Oh no!"
Like, Cole, come on, Buffalo ain't better than no damn Dallas Cowboys. Now I'm like, my bad, Cole. You was right. I'm sorry.
My bad.
You feel me? Because Buffalo was doing over there doing their thing. They got good defense, good offense, quarterback, all that good stuff. So it's kind of wild how everything is going.
I got Josh Allen on my fantasy.
See, I know you. I got Cole Beasley in mind. That's why I'm glad he brought him up because Cole Beasley, I haven't really played him all year. I played him 2 weeks ago when they played against them Cardinals, and he went nutty. And I was like, yeah, he out that game. Thank you, Cole. Feel me? I need to get this done this week because I'm in first. So now let's because I'm getting ready to end it off here because I don't want to hold you all day. But in going with the rest of this year. Let's say, what do you think the Cowboys' record will be at the end of the year?
Woo! So before we played Minnesota, I was telling people I don't think we win one more game. And they got my hopes up. Damn Cowboys! They always do something to get your hopes up every time. It never fails.
They like the Godfather, Mariella. Every time I want to leave, they want to bring me back in.
Yeah.
I just be like, I'm done with y'all this year. Then they beat me to soul like, ooh. And then it's like, watch. I hate y'all.
Exactly. So I said we weren't going to win one more game, but that got me a little optimistic, and I was thinking, well, Zach Martin's working. He's doing well at right tackle. Maybe we can get this thing going. Then when he went down, like I'm back to not thinking it's gonna no more games.
No more games. We ain't winning no more games.
Nope.
So we're gonna end it at 4-12. We'll be 3-13.
Yeah.
So if we end up 3-13, we have a top 5 pick, obviously. I got 2 questions for you, and this is for you, Jim Laws. Vach ain't whooping my ass. Here's a relay message to Vach. I'm whooping your ass because we got playoffs. I didn't know nothing about playoffs in fantasy. This is on my second time ever played fantasy football, so I'm an old head. But guess what? You got me by the hair of your chinny chin chin, but I'm gonna whoop your ass in the playoffs, Vach. So get ready. So that's just to let you know. All right. So now, as far as the draft goes, you're gonna have a top 5 pick. What's a position you would want to go with if they kept this? A twofold question. If we keep the pick, what's the position you would go after in that top 5? Or would you be like, let's trade down, and grab multiple picks? What person are you?
I want to trade down.
Okay.
Because I'm not one of those people. I know a lot of fans won't Sewell if he's there. But I think, we talked about the O-line depth, and, I think that we'd be fine as it stands right now. We don't need a top O tackle to be successful, especially, with our QB who has massively improved. I don't think we have to have a top tackle. And also think that it's a pretty deep corner class. So I wouldn't want to reach, if we're in the top 5, I think it might be too high for some of the corners that are there.
I agree.
So I would rather trade back and end up getting one of those corners or a safety in the later rounds of the first, and then, just stacking picks.
Now, I haven't really studied the draft. I will. This is just from me from the outside in, and Jay Tuck brought this up to me. last year it was a lot of guys, man. It was a lot of guys where you were like, ooh, ooh,
Yeah,
ooh, ooh.
yeah,
Maybe it's me because I haven't been up on the draft, but it just doesn't feel like this year's draft is like last year's draft.
yeah,
So that's why I'm cool with trading down because I don't think there was those guys that there were last year where you're like, ooh, there were defensive tackles. You know, you had Brown last year, Javon
mm-hmm,
Kinlaw. You had those defensive tackles. There was a lot of defensive tackles last
yeah,
year that were really good early. I don't see that this year. And when I talk to a lot of these draft guys, they're saying there's not a lot of defensive tackles that you would want to go high in that first round. So it only makes
agree.
sense to gather picks. So I'm not really super excited about this draft like last year. So why don't we gather up picks, get a whole surplus of people, have one of these guys that are we need a quarterback, let them reach and spin all kind of glory, and let's go ahead and then get that depth. But where we really need to attach the depth is that defense, man. Because like you said, BJ was talking about, we need some more linebackers. Smith, Sean Lee, he don't need to play no more.
Yeah.
Joe Thomas, he okay. Jalen Smith,
Mm.
we already know about that. Okay, I ain't gonna keep talking about no damn Jalen Smith no more. And LVE, I like his talent, but I don't know. I keep saying this to myself. I don't know if he's still physical enough to play that Mike linebacker if they stay in a
Yeah.
4-3. I don't know. So I just feel like our linebackers really need to get better because our linebackers are underwhelming this year. They're even if the defensive line is doing its job. It's like our linebackers aren't being dynamic, getting guys behind the
Yeah.
line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? Making
Yeah.
big plays. Our guys are making the tackles after the line of scrimmage, 3-4 yards. Okay, you both got 14 tackles, but half your tackles was 5 yards after the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, like when people use that argument with Jalen, I'm like, they are already down the field when he's tackling.
Right.
Like
That's one of them. That's one of them boy bye.
Yeah. Yeah, don't give me that argument for Jalen. And I was big on Jalen. I was a huge Jalen fan. But it's just not working out. It's not happening for him.
Would you cut him?
Not yet. Definitely. Look,
I feel you. I feel you. Okay, talk to me.
Because I think that we'll get better linebacker play when we address the middle of the defense. If we had consistent pressure in the middle, then I think that would help our linebackers a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I would focus on DT in free agency. We hope that Tristan Hill's going to come back healthy. We hope Neville Gallimore takes the next step, and hopefully that helps them. But like you said, I still want to draft a guy, definitely.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Randy Gregory?
I like Randy.
Would you want to extend? You want to extend Randy?
Yes,
okay.
I want to keep Alden as well.
Okay, you would. So if somebody came with an offer for Alden, like a third rounder, would you take it?
Well, from what I hear, I mean, the Seahawks wanted him at the trade deadline.
But I don't know how much for though.
Yeah. I don't know what they offered. But whatever it is, the Cowboys said no. My thing with the Cowboys is, if Steven does this a lot too, because this conversation happened with Byron, where it was pretty much known that they probably weren't going to re-sign Byron. Mm-hmm. But it's like you could have traded Byron and got something for him instead of waiting to just let him walk away in free agency.
Right.
And you might get a comp pick, but that, there's a lot of variables involved with comp picks. So yeah, if they claim they want to sign Alden, but we don't know if they actually will. And it's like, if you don't end up signing them, you look dumb for not taking whatever that trade was.
Exactly. And don't let us find out it was like a third pick and you didn't do it, and then he walks in free agency, because there ain't no guarantee he's going to sign back with Dallas, because Dallas ain't going to throw no big money at no damn Alden Smith. They're not going to do that. Show me Stephen Jones. And here's my little cautious for Alden. I like Alden. He's the leading sack leader, coming back vicious, everything after that layoff, leading the team with 5 sacks. But I'm leery with this, Mariella, for the simple fact that guys can decline quickly, especially in their 30s, and you haven't played that long. And you remember how he was killing it early, and he dropped drastically. That's the only my worry about the Alden Smith thing. Is he going to still be able to be that guy in another couple of years? So I'm a little leery with that. Rather as Randy Gregory, who's 28 and hasn't had the tread either, but I just feel like he has a younger type body than Alden Smith, and he's a little lighter than Smith, and I think that carries a little bit as well. I would love to sign Alden Smith, but let's see how many years and how much. I wouldn't go more than 2 years with him.
Yeah, I agree. You gotta factor all that in, and if he's, how Robert Quinn was. We were excited to get Robert Quinn, and he had a great year, but when it was time to pay him,
in Chicago, right?
He wanted a lot of money. And
I wouldn't have paid him no money either.
Yeah, ultimately it wouldn't have been worth it. So if Alden is on some similar energy as that, then I'm completely fine with letting him walk.
Exactly. I like how you said that. If he's on that energy. I like that. Say, if you on that energy, bye.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you hear me saying it, Mariella, I'm going to say you started it. I'm just kind of finishing the same. You want that energy? All right, so if you hear me say it, I ain't trying to jack you. I liked it.
All good. All good.
All right, so we're about to get off of here. What's your prediction for the game tomorrow?
Ooh, I hate doing predictions.
Okay, well then tell me about what's Dez going to do?
I think Dez is, knowing all the guys that are out, like at first I was thinking, it might be like 50 yards and a TD. But knowing who's out there, is going to be out there tomorrow, I would not be surprised if it was 100 yards. But that's if Lamar throws the ball. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, they're going to focus on trying to run against us, and that's really his game. That's what he's best at. But if he throws the ball, I can definitely see Dez having a 100-yard game against us.
All I know is Dez going to get a touchdown. I don't know about no 100 yards, no 50 yards, but when they get near that 20 or inside that 15, Dez is coming out there, okay? Yeah. The X is going to get thrown up because they ain't going to let that slide, dog. The fade route is coming, and that's happening. And I would love for him to see it, but I also would love to see my guy, I don't know if it was Jim Laws or the Lunatic, one of them said, I would love to see CD get a touchdown, and I want him to throw up the X. Not in no disrespect, but in respect to you. I got your jersey, you out there, Dez. I got a touchdown, throw up that X for him. I would love to see something like that as a respect. Not a diss at all, you know what I'm saying, but respect of what 88 has done to this team and this program. But I ain't gonna lie, I would love to see Dez get a touchdown, and I'm happy for him. And I think he will do it because I don't think things just happen. In closing with this, because when you seen Dez and you seen how he was let go with Dallas, it was controversial. It was Steven. And then he goes with the Saints, and then he's getting ready to play Dallas, and we're like, oh, God, he about to turn up. And then he blows out his Achilles. I'm thinking, well, it's just over. Now, how does this happen, Mariella, where you ain't played in 3 damn years? You just happen to get on Baltimore this year. We just happen to play them this year. You just happen to be on the roster the rest of the year, and you coming up to play Dallas. Now, why don't I think you just not going to turn up? It's just the stars is aligning for you to turn up this game, man.
Oh, exactly. He got his QB back, Lamar. So, like you said, they wanted to make sure he could play. So he's got his QB. It's aligning well for them, definitely.
We'll see. And like I said, I ain't really caring. And please, Cowboy fans, if you say, you don't want to win, I ain't no team tank. I want us to play good and play hard. If we lose, I ain't expecting us to win. I just want to see us continue to play hard. Guys step up. I want to see continue these young players. Please play Reggie Robinson so we can find out if he's that guy that you compare with Trevin Diggs. We want these 2 guys to be our corners of the future and then go from there. So please show me some Bradley and Nye. Please show me some Reggie Robinson. Just show me those guys. I need to see those guys. Thompson is probably going to play on defense. Yeah, I want to throw up on that one. But, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So one last thing with Cheeto. Would you experiment him at safety? Or would you go out there and would you experiment and say, well, let's try the Cheeto thing at safety? Or would you just say, I'm done with Cheeto?
I wouldn't mind keeping Cheeto, and I would experiment. At first I was, at the beginning of the year, I was completely against moving him. But if he can be better at safety, I'm down to see it. We need all the help we can get. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm cool with bringing them back, but I don't want to see no safety because I don't got time for no more experience with Dallas. No more experiments. I need dogs. I need guys who play this position, come in here as dogs, money, spend it. We know it ain't gonna happen, so I know I'm just wishful thinking and just living in a dream world. So it is what it is. But man, I really appreciate you, Mariella. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, you really came with some good stuff today. I really appreciate you and the Star Game podcast, what you guys got going on over there. I know you gave a little bit of breakdown, but just let everybody know what you're doing. Stargate podcast, when y'all really guys do your podcast and all that good stuff. Twitter follow, Twitter handle, whatever you want to talk about and say to follow you, spit it.
So we have a page on Facebook, Star Gang Podcast, and we have an actual group, Star Gang. And in the group, we post a lot of Cowboys updates. We want all the members to post updates and their opinions on things. So you're more than welcome to do that. Twitter at Star Gang Beauty, and we go live every Tuesday, usually every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Obviously not tomorrow, but in general, we go live on Tuesdays, and sometimes BJ and Spoonie do an after party, or might be other times where they get to go live, but that's the set date that we all go live, that you see all of us together, is on Tuesdays.
Okay, nice. I appreciate that. Please go follow her on Twitter. She funny as hell. She funny. You funny as hell on Twitter. That's funny as hell on Twitter, man. I love following you guys. Sometimes I'll be sitting there when I watch a game and I'm like, she's about to say something crazy. I'm about to she's about to tweet something crazy. I love it because you know what? I respect a lot of the ladies in the game that are coming up in this sports thing. So a lot of females know more to this game than these guys do, and it's just really refreshing to see that come up from that aspect, because it wasn't going on for so long in sports. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that door. So it's good that this door is opening, and ladies like you are kicking it in and doing the thing. So much continued success for you and the Star Game podcast. Everything you guys do, big up. I got 100% love and mad respect for everything you guys do, and hopefully you'll join me again sometime. Maybe when the draft happens or anything like that. Hopefully you'll jump on my podcast again and we can talk some more Cowboys football. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun, and you got some good fans here with some good comments. So thanks for having me, and I'd love to do it again.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you. I'm going to stay on, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go because I'm going to stay on. But once again, big ups to you. Follow her on Twitter. Say your Twitter handle again one more time.
At Star Gang Beauty. And I saw somebody ask if we're on YouTube. Yes, we're on YouTube. Star Gang Podcast on YouTube as well.
Yep. So go check them out. All right. So see you. Have a good night. Great evening. And we'll talk very soon. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
All right. I'm about to get off of here, but that was my girl. Not my girl, but you know what I mean. Mariella. Good time with her today. I have been wanting to get her on, and you definitely need to go check out the Star Game podcast. Spoonie, BJ, and Mariella. Really appreciate both of those. I mean, all those guys in the gang over there, what they do over there. Really appreciate them. Go give them a follow. I'm also in their group, the Star Gang group, and it's a really good group. They keep really good information on what's going on there, and I really appreciate her jumping on like she did for me. Love to seeing the ladies out there talking about sports and these Cowboys, and they repping it as well as these guys. So big ups and big salutes to Mariella one more time. Thank you for jumping in. Kind of crazy. Jamal, you wild. We see this game, before I head up from here, we seen this game with Washington. And once again, man, 11, I was talking, it's funny because I was at work today, and one of my good friends, he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I told him, I said, Washington gonna beat y'all tonight. And he's like, man, stop playing. Washington ain't beat us, dog. I'm like, bruh, Washington gonna beat y'all because they got a good front, and that good front gonna cause y'all problems. Y'all not gonna do what y'all think y'all gonna do today because y'all not an impressive 11-0. You know what I'm saying? Like, you beat some teams, but it's not an impressive 11-0, and nobody's scared of that team. And you had too many times where you escaped, and you're eventually gonna get caught. But as I said before, defense. The Giants, the reason why they are 5-7, in my opinion, defense. The only reason why Philly is competitive this year, that defensive front. The reason why Washington won this game and is keeping them in games this year. Defensive front. Notice the theme here. Defensive front, or defense, period. If you have a defense that plays together, plays hard, flying after the football, creating turnovers, creating havoc. It's just, to me, it's just a better way. I'm going to always take a great defense over a great offense any day. I don't care what you tell me. You can go with a great offense. You can. I'm not. I'm going with a great defense every single day because we can shut you down. We're going to shut you down. And all my team needs to score is 3 points. It don't got to be super impressive. My offense ain't got to be sweet, although I would like for it to. It ain't got to be sweet. If that defense can hold it down and we can score when we need to, we're going to beat you. You want to have an explosive offense to go with that, but at the end of the day, man, you got to have defense because if you can't stop nobody, you ain't winning no games. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're dropping 40. As I said before, we was dropping 30, 35, 40. You know what I mean? And what was happening? We were still getting smacked because we couldn't stop nobody. Dak was having to go right back on the field after, 10-play drive, scoring a touchdown, and the defense gives up, score within 3 to 4 plays. I mean, that's deflating for offense, knowing that you got to get back on the field. And it wasn't like we were starting at the 50-yard line. We were starting at our own 23-yard line. So you were already behind the 8-ball, back deep in your own territory. So you got to play perfect football. That's just not a good recipe because you're not going to play perfect football every single week. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to drop some passes. You're going to do some turnovers. And when that happens, you got to be having a defense that be able to, help you hold it down. And that's what we don't have. And I think we got to get a right type of coordinator in there to get these guys. And we need some serious dogs. I think we got good players. We don't have any great players. And I think we need 1 or 2 maybe great players to really take us there. Sorry, I don't think DeMarcus Lawrence is a great player. I think he's a very good player. He's not a great player to me. And until we have one of those type guys, I think we're still just going to be middle level or mediocre. Jamal Sims, you feel me? I mean, do we remember that Ravens Super Bowl, that 2000 team? Who was that quarterback? Trent Dilfer? What kind of offense did they have? They had Travis Taylor was their top receiver. Quadre Ismail. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? But that defense was nasty. We've seen plenty of Super Bowls. Like I said, when they went to the Super Bowl, they had all that damn offense. Who shut them down? Patriots defense. They shut that offense down, and they didn't have to score a bunch of points. They won. That defense is going to carry you, man, and we need to get that defense together. We already got offense. We got offensive players. You got Zeke. You got Pollard. You still got Blake Jarwin coming back. We hopefully got Dak coming back. You still got CeeDee Lamb. You still got Gallup another year. If you don't trade, you still got Cooper another year. So you have offensive weapons. You still have the offensive weapons. They're still young, too. You're going to get your offensive line back, and the guys that played on the offensive line this year got good experience, and those guys are young. So it's not like you owe it on the offense and you still got explosive players. You can still draft some offensive players. You can still get some more good receivers. Cedric Wilson stepped up this year. Noah Brown stepped up this year. They look better than they have in past years. So it's not like we don't already have offense, but we need difference makers on this defense. I think Trevin Diggs is the guy that I really like him. I don't know if Gallimore is a difference maker, but he's a good player. But we need difference makers. Randy Gregory is a difference maker. Let me not say that. I like Alden Smith. I don't know if Alden Smith can carry that another 2 years if they have him, but I like Randy Gregory. Do I think Randy Gregory could be great? I do, but he's never been on the field to show us his greatness because something's always happened. Maybe that's behind him now, and maybe we could see 2 good years of strictly Randy Gregory playing football. I would love that because I believe he could be a great player. He's definitely the best pass rusher on the team, bar none. Natural ability, Alden Smith maybe back in the day, but Randy Gregory is our best natural pass rusher. Better than D-Law, better than Alden Smith. He's our best natural pass rusher. So we got to continue to give him snaps and let him grow because he's our biggest threat. And I know D-Law got him that first sack in that 2-sack game, but guess what? D-Law didn't get the sack. Manny Ramos. I agree, Paul. Mr. DC fitted. We need a safety bat. I totally agree, man. Mr. Defense said what you saying, James. You want defense or off always, but I don't want to also reach. You get what I'm saying, y'all? Like I don't want to jump out there and reach for players. You get what I mean? Um, just like when Mariella was on there, I love to have another corner or a linebacker, this and that. But if those guys really aren't highly rated, let's not jump up there in the first round and just draft somebody because we feel like we need a corner. Oh, you feel like you need a linebacker, or you feel you need that. And they're really not those guys. Don't do it if they ain't them guys. You're just wasting. You're just going to go in a dirty circle. Get guys that you know can do this. But really, as I said before, we got Stephen Jones got to touch this free agency, dog. You know what I'm saying? That damn Ben, y'all know. You know, he's got to. Dallas ain't going to win this without some free agents. It's just the truth. And you don't have to overspend and go out there and get 5, 6, 7 guys like some of these teams do. You don't have to do that. But I do think you got to get 1 or 2 dogs from free agency. Young dogs. Not these old 31, 30-year-old, 32, 33, 34. Not those guys. We need a guy like who's 24, 25. You know what I'm saying? Maybe played a few years on his contract, 3 or 4 years, and he's eligible for free agency. Go after him. Get a guy. Get a real guy in free agency. He's that. I don't care. Somebody says Steven ain't gunshot. I do. I believe he is. I believe he is. I don't think he's just being smart about the money. I believe he's gun shy because he don't want to make that mistake of guessing wrong, picking the wrong person in his opinion, and then now you may be tied to that contract or whatever you spending this money because you know his ass is about the cap. So that's why I feel like he's more gun shy, and it's easier when you ain't got to spend that money. You can just draft players, and then you can go sprinkle in these bargain basement free agents. How are you getting backlash for that? See, that's safe because you ain't getting crazy backlash from it because you're still drafting pretty good. You're getting players that fit in the team. So you ain't getting a lot of backlash. So you being safe as shit. And that's why they kept Garrett. Garrett was a safe guy. He was a safe guy. You feel me? And you don't got to go for it on every freaking fourth down, but you're conservative by nature. And when you're conservative by nature, you don't win games. And Stephen Jones, you're conservative. You're super conservative. As long as you stay in that conservative mentality, we're gonna go in that. Y'all know Tevin Campbell, right? Y'all remember that song by Tevin Campbell back in the day? We go round and round and round. That's what I want to sing every time to Dallas. We go round and round and round. That's what I just feel like. Yeah, Jamal, took the words out of my mouth. Say, use up. Use up. Have any of y'all ever seen Deep Cover? Anybody y'all? Before I get off here, any of y'all seen Deep Cover? You remember when if you seen Deep Cover, you remember when Lawrence Fishburne was in the bathroom with the yippee-yi-yay, man. Remember that wild cowboy? He was in the bathroom. He turned around, said, "Yeah, use up." When he was pissing on him, he said, "Use up." I feel you, Paul. I'm about to light that wood too. 024, 024, 024, man. I feel you, Mr. DC Fitted. It is. It's sad. We just go round in circles, man. Same old shit, different day up in Dallas. It's just frustrating. But we're gonna be broadcasting this game live tomorrow. Not live. We're not gonna be broadcasting. We'll be doing our late night hype with the game tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. My dog Skywalker still with the new field, like my dog Law Nation says, Law Nation, you know how it is, my mentor for life. We're going to get it in, do the Baltimore game tomorrow on the late night hype and see how it kind of goes and, you know, see where we go from there. But I appreciate everybody in the feed. We do. We deserve better. Mr. DC Fitted, I'm going to post that right now. We deserve better. We do. We really do. As much money as people spend on the Dallas Cowboys, as much money as people spend on these damn Dallas Cowboys, you tore down Texas Stadium. You built this new stadium trend, set the whole world in the trend. 100,000 people. I think that was the first 100,000 seat stadium, I think, in the NFL. I don't know. Don't quote me. But you continue to build this brand where you don't have to pump this brand anymore. The brand sells itself. Dallas is not good, and it's still selling. The brand is always going to stay itself. It's the Cowboys. The brand is always going to sell. And I just feel like us Cowboys fans deserve better. As much money that they spend on these tickets, I ain't spending money on these tickets no more. I did it a couple years ago. I ain't spending money on these tickets no more. I'm going to a game. It's going to be free. I'm not doing that. I'm not spending no $300. I had one of my homies, I think he was in here. He went to that. He drove how far from, I think he came from Seattle. Not Seattle, I'm sorry. He came from somewhere. Did like a 17, 18-hour drive. They got immaculate tickets. Spent like, you know, $300-400 a piece. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the ins and outs, but he said he spent a lot of money for this game just to get blown out and see that type of product on the field. That's a nasty taste in my mouth. If I'm spending that kind of bread on these Dallas Cowboys, and just like other people, and this is the kind of product you're going to keep putting out on the field and keep on expecting me to buy season tickets for, like, I don't know. Not doing that. Oh yeah, of course he does. He's a marketing genius. He does. Why do you think the Dallas Cowboys, I still think, have the most fans out of every team this year per game? I think we could have like averaging like 30,000. I don't know if anybody else has topped that number. Why? We know why. Jared got paid the bills. It is what it is. I don't want to talk about Dallas no more. I'm just keep it real, y'all. I get mad sometimes, man. I just get mad. I'm just get mad. Because I start thinking about things. I just start getting pissed because I see these other teams, man. I be wanting to tear up shit, like keep it all the way real. I just see these other teams take a year or two and they right at it, competing for championships. We still in the same damn circle. That stuff is like. I just get mad. Sometimes I say, I wish I didn't love this team so much. I be saying it to myself sometimes. I wish I didn't love this team so damn much. But I do. I love my Cowboys. I'm just tired of this, y'all. I'm just tired of this, man. And so I remember how much of it's crazy. Like, I remember in the 90s, I hate to even go back that far because people clown us. It seems like it's so far ago, but I remember when I was in them 90s, how happy I was in life. I was like the happiest person ever, even when I was a kid in the 70s and 80s when we were winning. When them 90s, I was like the happiest person in the world. Like, I was so happy. Like, life was just great. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. Like, everything that I woke up every day was just sunny because my Cowboys were good. And we were just winning Super Bowls. And I just didn't care. I was just happy. I was like, I could lose a job or something bad could happen to me, but my Cowboys were winning and going to Super Bowl, so my life is still good. You know what I'm saying? Like, those were, man, I just was, I need that again. I probably won't ever see it ever again, but I need it. Hell yeah, I feel you. I was happy with wrong. Just give us a deep, just stop the mediocre shit. I'm tired of mediocre. That's what Dallas is. Mediocre. And until we change that, we're mediocre. Period. Yeah, Steve, the good old days. Well, I don't see no change no time soon, y'all. I don't know about y'all. Maybe y'all might be more optimistic than me, but I don't see any change coming anytime soon. I mean, we can change coaches, we can change this, but what they say can change a leopard, but I don't know something about this. Put the lipstick on the pig, law would say, or you can't, leopard still got his spots. What's the saying? I don't know. It changes spots. Something. It's the same thing. Different coaches, same thing. And I just don't feel like it's going to change. I just feel like we're going to go in them circles. We'll win games, may win an NFC East title, go to the playoffs. I just feel like it's just going to be the same thing as long as those guys are running this stuff. And that's just not a good feeling in my opinion. I mean, people got to start boycotting. That's the only way there's going to be change. You can't show up to these games. As much as we want to, can't show up to these games. You can't, because Jerry will listen to that, boy. You hit them pockets or he don't see people come to the games because they're frustrated with this team, guarantee you that boy get in there and make some drastic changes because he's done it before. But if his pockets ain't hurting and he's still getting the highest attendance out of everybody out of COVID, he's going to keep staying the same, and it's just the truth. Get what I'm saying? If Dallas still getting the highest attendance out of every team in COVID, and we are 3-8 getting our ass kicked, and we still have the highest attendance rating out of all these other teams, then there ain't going to be no change. Because there ain't no threat, because Jerry's going to see, hey, they still coming. We good. They still coming. We good. I want to win. I know he wants to win. We good. I don't know, Paul. What up, BJ? Yeah, we need a Mike Tomlin. I feel you. Had your girl on, man. She was great. Yeah, I'm not going out there and buying Cowboy stuff like that no more. I don't care. That don't make me less of a truer fan than somebody got they whole damn dad. You ain't more of a fan than me because your room is decorated from head to toe in Cowboys gear. I just think you're just a little over the top to me. But you ain't more of a fan or love the team no more than me because you got Cowboys gear on, Cowboy stuff on the eyes, or 20 million Cowboys hats, or you ain't more of a fan than anybody else just because you have all that Cowboys gear. That don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to be spending all that money on Cowboy stuff, and y'all keep putting that product out like this on the field. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And that don't mean my loyalty is any less. It's just I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not going to keep buying all this Cowboys gear, spending all my money, and y'all keep on putting out this whack stuff on the field, and there ain't no changes. And it's just always the same thing. Nah, man, I ain't doing that. And a lot of people should stop doing that too, because guess what? Them eyes will open a little bit more when everybody ain't coming to the game and they're like, we tired of seeing this, dog. We need change. Y'all need to figure this out. We fans demand this. Because guess what? If you ain't got no fans, players ain't going to keep playing football because who pays their salaries? Still, yes, still Dallas Cowboy for life though. But I ain't happy right now. But I appreciate everybody on here, man. I love y'all, all my mods, all the donations, all my members. Appreciate all my members as usual. Appreciate everybody that was in the feed from Facebook to YouTube. Always love you guys, and I say this all the time. I may not say it earlier, but anybody who jumps in the feed and is listening, that's a a-okay for me because you know you ain't got to, but I appreciate the respect you guys do by being followers of my page, and you know I just really love you guys for it. um, I will give you a little snippet. The first of the year, just gonna let you guys know right now. The first year, I'm still banging my my Silver and Blue Nation Big Game James, but I am next year going to start branching out, and I'm gonna create a separate YouTube channel. I haven't decided the name for it. I'm still gonna go hard on my Cowboys all day. That ain't never changing. I'm just gonna branch out and start doing some other things because I got a lot of other things that I like to do and see and talk about besides Cowboys all day. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna still talk my Cowboys for sure. Not gonna be slipping with that. But we're just gonna. I'm gonna open up a YouTube page. I got some people that have some YouTube pages as well that aren't. You know, they deal with a lot of other things, man. And I think you'll like it because we don't all, you know, we can talk about, you know, just a lot of other things, and I think it's going to be good. I think I got somebody to produce it. Things are in the works, and we're going to start at the first of the year. So the project is in the works. I've been talking to some people, and now I got some confirmation from some other people within YouTube that has some really good YouTube channels that's not football related, but damn, it's good and it's great information, and I'm going to run with it. And you can jump on there if you like, because I think it'll be good conversation, daily conversation about what we see on a daily basis, whether it be movies, you know, TV, life issues, kids, parents, um, you know, entertainment, uh, whatever, you know, just what's ever really going on. We're going to talk about those things because it ain't all about football all the time. You know, there's other things that go on in your life. And, you know, I want to have an outlet where people can talk about some things that even if like, you know, people might be dealing with suicide or, you know, racism or sexism or anything people might be dealing with and they don't have anybody to talk to. I want this platform that I'm going to create. I want this platform to be all for people who don't feel like they have some hope sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And need somebody to just vent or, you know, get some stuff off their chest. You know, we'll do it sometimes where, hey, what subject y'all want to talk about today? We'll go hard on it. You know what I mean? Just talking about life and refreshing our minds and getting our minds away from stress every day. Because when you talk about a lot of things and get stuff off your chest and don't hold them in, it makes you a better person and it makes you a better individual. I know that for a fact for my own self because I've dealt with a lot of depression in my life. I've dealt with, you know, self-doubt. I've dealt with, you know, just a lot of crazy things in my life. And I used to bottle a lot of that stuff in. And now I'm just now opening up in my heart and my life about a lot of things that I went through that were crazy. And it feels good. It feels better. It gives me hope that I can continue to be better. And it helps me help the next person, just like the next person helped me because I seen they actually went through this stuff and it made me a stronger person. So I want to have this type of page to where it's about um, helping the minds of everybody and you know, just having release and have free flowing things. I think it'll be really good, and I think you guys will like it when you see what's going to really be popping with it. So if you want to jump on and support it, cool. But it's definitely in the works, and I definitely feel like it'll be good therapy for the mentals, the mind, the body, and the soul. And I think we can really go places. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, everybody, we all need somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? You know, my father passed away 10 years ago. I've had a lot of my friends get murdered in the streets. I've had a lot of my football kids that I coached that, you know, I lost within the past 3 years. I've lost three of my football kids. Um, one, you know, I don't want to really want to say why, but The reasons weren't good. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've lost a lot of friends in the game, death, just by a lot of things. And, those things shook you up. And, I've been through just a lot of things in my life where I just didn't have anybody to talk to. I'm an only child. I have, a sister and brother, but they're not my natural. I consider them like that. But I was pretty much I'm an only child. So, when you're going through things and ain't nobody there, and my dad was really never there in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just spitting off some stuff right now. I know it's this Dallas Cowboys, but if you want to listen to it, you can. I'll be quick. But my dad was never around. I didn't have no male figure in my life. You know what I'm saying? I had no male role model in my life. You know what I mean? And that's hard. It's very difficult as a young man when you feel like you're alone and you don't have, you're frustrated, you're mad, and you're angry about a lot of things, and you don't have anybody to talk to. And so when you see a lot of these kids out here, because I work with the youth, I work with the youth for over 20 years and I love it. But when you see a lot of these kids out here that are doing these wild things, you got to look at the home. You got to look at a lot of things that what's going on right there as to why these kids do it when they grow up as adults. They have problems as adults because things weren't dealt with as kids because they weren't able to talk to. Kids ain't lot. You ain't can't really say things. So you just keep it in, and then it gets worse and worse, and you get older, and you never deal with it. And then when you're 30, 40, 50 years old, you're like, why you still be doing these stupid things? Well, look at my childhood. Look at what some of this stuff happened, and none of this was dealt with. And that's why maybe I still might do immature things. Feel me? And people need to be able to talk to, whether you're an adult or a kid. People need to talk, and people need to be able to hear and listen. So that's why I want to really create this for mental health and for fun, and because it's gonna help me, because I still got mental health issues, straight up. And nobody wants to admit that because you don't want to look soft or weak. But I still go through mental health issue things. I do, and it gets hard sometimes. It really does. It gets really hard. But when I'm able to talk about it and get stuff off my chest and see other people are dealing with things that I've dealt with, it makes it easier in my life to make me go stronger and pick up the next person or the next man, because somebody helped me with the issue that I was dealing with when I was in a dark place. So I want to be able to help people that might be in a dark place as well, because I've been in them damn dark places. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I want to create a good community for all of us. Yeah, I mean, it's just true life, man. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you guys. I mean, I didn't try to, we talking Cowboys. I didn't try to come this route. I wasn't trying to, I wasn't. This just happened. It just happened, man. And I don't even want to get emotional on here, but I do, because this stuff hits home, man. It's real. Like life is real, and we all need somebody. We all need somebody, and we all need somebody to lay our head on their shoulder sometimes and just sometimes cry, man. It's okay to sometimes just cry. You know, a lot of times we're taught as men. I don't know how the ladies do it, but a lot of times, especially young black men and black men in general. I'm not saying any other race because I have friends all over. I got deep friends, so ain't nothing about that. But I'm just saying from my perspective, when you a man, you ain't allowed to show your emotion. You ain't, especially in the black community, it's like you ain't allowed to cry. You soft. And when you're in the streets, you have to be a certain way, or you're gonna get ran over. Or and it ain't gotta always be like that. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't always gotta be this hardcore guy, because a lot of those dudes that are murdering and killing out there, if you get them by themselves, and when they're in prison or whatever, you get them by themselves, they'll tell you, I hate it. I didn't want to be like this. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do this. But it was my circumstance and it was my life, and I didn't have nobody to talk to, and I didn't have nobody to be there for me. So guess what? I became a killer. I became a rapist. I became a murderer. I became a thief. I became this because nobody was ever there for me. And I just became this. I became a monster. And that's what happens. And we got to stop that. We got to. That's why the society is all messed up, because don't nobody talk no more. Don't nobody, especially men, us men. We need to talk more. We need to hug each other more. We need to give dap each other more. We need to tell each other we love each other more. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody you love them, even if you don't know that person for 10 years. There's nothing wrong with telling them you love them if you genuinely feel that in your heart. You ain't got to know them all that time. You can genuinely say, I love you. And it's okay to say it back. It ain't weird. You another dude saying it back to me, it's not weird. We got to get past that, man. That's why we messed up. We got to start telling each other we love each other. We got to give each other hugs. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about as men right now. I ain't talking about nobody. I'm talking about as men right now. We got to start doing that, because right now, the reason why a lot of these kids out here is in these streets, and a lot of these people is messed up, because ain't a lot of the fathers. Fathers are huge, and we need to be better fathers. I need to be a better father every day. I need to be a better father. I need to be a better man. But we need to start loking up, man, and start being strong with each other, and tell each other we love each other, and give each other hugs, and because it's telling you, man, it goes a long way. And I still have problems doing it, because of my life. So I'm still trying to learn it. But I know when I do it, it does feel good. Exactly. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to get emotional, but sometimes this stuff be hitting home, dog. It just does. It hits home. It just hits me out of nowhere, because I deal with this stuff on a daily basis. Really, I do. So keep me in your prayers. I'm gonna keep y'all in my prayers. Y'all lift me up, I'm gonna lift y'all up, and that's what we need to do here. Always uplift each other. And I'm not good at that all the time. I'm not. I can be evil as hell. I can, and I need to continue to grow up. Even though I'm almost 50 years old, you can still grow. You can still learn. When you think you know too much, that's when it's over. I got a whole lot more to learn, man. So uplift me, I uplift you, man, and make sure y'all in here tomorrow for that for our show tomorrow. Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, the late night hype. You know how we do, man. I love y'all truly, and let's just continue to make this thing grow and make this thing great, man. All right. So salutes to you. I appreciate you, and we'll be talking to you soon tomorrow. Big Game James, I'm out. Peace. Salutes.